Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. And welcome back for part 2 of the Pro Se DUI jury trial with Judge Johnson. This is where it gets good. The trooper testifies. If you happen to miss the first part, link is in the description as well as in the video. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
All right, so Ms. Mitch, are you prepared to call your first witness?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you. The people have called Trooper Cleo Henson with the Michigan State Police, and we'll go out in the hallway and just.
Yeah, coming up this way, Trooper, watch your step up that ramp. And when you get there, raise your right hand for your oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, and have a seat there. And whenever you're ready, Ms. Mitch.
Thank you, Your Honor. I know you're good. Thanks, Mrs. Minister, with your mouth. All right, sir, can you please state your full name for the court reporter?
Trooper Cleo Henson.
And can you spell that?
First name is spelled A-L-E. Last name is spelled H-I-N.
Thank you. And Trooper, how were you employed?
I'll do the statements.
Would that be from, say, Michigan State Police?
Yes.
Thank you. And how long have you been a trooper with the Michigan State Police?
Just under 7 years.
Thank you. Any experience before then?
Not law enforcement.
Understood. Now, Trooper, have you received any training as it relates to investigating drivers of suspected drunk driving?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you been trained of what to look out for, what to observe of these suspected drivers?
Yes.
Can you just take us through a couple of those what you look for?
So we're trained in standardized field sobriety tests. Primarily what I look for is the ways people drive, the behaviors when we're driving. Being able to maintain like one lane of travel. Also, signs of impairment such as glossy eyes or emitting alcohol from the vehicle or the person step out.
Understood. That would be during a traffic stop?
Yes.
Trooper, approximately how many times, and this is just, I know it's been 7 years, rough estimate, have you stopped a driver that you suspected of drunk driving?
Estimate, it might even be under, I'd probably say over 200.
And Trooper, do you or have you arrested every single person that you initially suspected of drunk driving? Okay. And silly question, but why is that?
It's a suspicion that I may have, and standardized field sobriety tests, no clues that you observe, and enough clues weren't noted to lead you to believe they were impaired or intoxicated.
So is it fair to say that you would conduct an investigation before making the ultimate decision to arrest someone for drunk driving?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been trained in how to run these investigations, specifically field sobriety tests?
Yes.
And being trained, I mean, have you attended trainings?
Yes.
And again, approximately, I'm going to say probably the 200 that you said before, but how many times have you run field sobriety tests with a suspected drunk driver?
I think well over 400.
Understood. And when I say you attended trainings, were these specialized trainings specifically for field sobriety tests? To show you specifically how to complete them?
Yes.
Is that fair to say? Okay. Now, I'm gonna jump a little ahead here. I'm gonna draw your attention to December the 20th of 2023. So it's a little further back, but at approximately 11:30 p.m. Do you recall that you were working in your official capacity as a trooper with the Michigan State Police on that date and around that time? And around that time, what were you doing?
I was on patrol, 8 miles.
Okay, do you recall what side of 8 Mile you were on?
I was on the Wayne County side.
Understood. And did anything catch your attention?
Yes, a vehicle that surpassed my vehicle at a high risk.
I'm sorry. What is the speed limit on 8 Mile?
At certain points it's 40, location we were was 45.
Understood. And you stated that you were on the Wayne County side. Does that, I guess, butt up to the Oakland County side?
Yes, there's just a median.
Okay, so just, I know, probably know what a median is, but just for the record, how far between the two would you say the distance is? Is it within a mile, let's say?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Would it be within feet?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now, when you witnessed this, well, I should say this, were you driving, a patrol vehicle at this time?
Yes.
And when you were driving this vehicle, is it fair to say that's when you witnessed this driver pass you?
Yes.
Now, what did you do given that, given what you saw?
Once I seen the vehicle pass by my vehicle at a high rate of speed, we have a in-car radar and it looks in front of our vehicle and looks in the rear. Since the car surpassed my car and I was, going about 45 miles an hour, I activated that radar and I seen the speed reading of that.
What was the speed of rating of that vehicle?
It was over set.
Okay. And was that a speed that was consistent as you were behind this vehicle?
Yes.
And did you have to speed up your vehicle to reach up to this vehicle? Okay. I first want to ask, is this part of 8 Mile, is that stretch of highway or road open to the public?
Yes.
Were there other motorists on the road at this time?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, when you were able to track that radar using over 70 miles an hour, what did you do next?
I then had to accelerate my vehicle to catch up to the vehicle. Doing so, I then reaffirmed speed of the vehicle, and I paced that vehicle going 65 miles an hour. Meaning that my vehicle wasn't moving further away from that vehicle, and it was still the same distance from that vehicle that I was looking at. And I reaffirmed that by looking at my speedometer, it said 65 miles an hour.
Understood. And Trooper, do you have dash cam?
I-
Okay. When I mean dash cam, I mean a camera on the front of your car that can observe what's going on in front of you. Your Honor, I am looking to play my People Exhibit 1. I just need to be on the screen.
Oh, you know what? We have to do that. See here. Cute, right?
I like Jane.
Up here, right? Right, left top. Yep. Got it.
And I should ask, can everyone see the screen right here?
If you cannot see, feel free to step outside and step over maybe that way so you don't block your other jurors. Yeah, you got all the remotes. I couldn't do it. I'll take it. After you get it going.
Do we have to do something to the volume? I can't remember.
Well, let's do this. Well, this doesn't have volume. I believe that my computer controlled the volume. So
Okay.
we'll go.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you. Trooper, I know you're looking behind you.
Do you need to step up? Okay.
Do you recognize this still shot right here? And do you recognize this as being the dash cam the day of this incident on December the 20th of 2023 as you were driving down 8 Mile?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I play it?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, now Trooper, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video that your dash cam picked up the day of this incident with Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
And I played it without context, being like, I'm gonna go back to the beginning, just so we can go through it again, but I wanted to make sure that was the correct video, okay? I know I've already played it for the jury, right, but I guess for evidence purposes, may I publish it to the jury or may I admit it as people's exhibit number 1?
Any objection?
None at all.
All right, then, this exhibit is admitted, exhibit 1, video.
Thank you. Now, before I play it, Trooper, this was the start of the dash cam that I in particular have. What activates your dash cam?
I can either manually activate it. There's a display. It's literally right below. Our light. Yes, the link is like kind of close to my ear, but it's right above. So I can press the button to activate it, or I can flip the switch in my car, which activates my emergency overhead lights. It's this thing, it's a body cam. It also activates my car camera. Faces passenger seat, panoramic camera that goes in front of the car. It's the dash cam that you see.
Understood. Excuse me. And this orange vehicle that we see here on the screen, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the vehicle that Mr. Johnson was driving the day of this incident?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the vehicle that you stated before that you had seen drive past you at a high rate of speed? Okay, so. And just to confirm as well, you are driving this patrol vehicle, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, at this point, Trooper, as we're watching this and you're in your patrol vehicle, what are you doing here?
At this point, I'm pacing the vehicle at 65 miles an hour.
And would it be fair to say you know this, like you stated before, given your speedometer in your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And again, Trooper, do we see other cars here that are on the road at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it right here for just a moment. I saw that your lights were activated right there. Why at that point had you activated your lights?
Keep the public safe.
Okay, at this point, were you initiating a traffic stop?
Yes.
I'm not gonna play the rest, the jury has already seen the rest, it's just the whole stop. I should warn you, Mr. Roberts, that I have probably 5 other videos, so I'm gonna make you get up and move, and I'm so sorry. Now, Trooper, I believe that we can already establish from the video, but what type of vehicle were you driving?
The 2019 Dodge Charger.
Understood, and is that a vehicle that was provided to you by the Michigan State Police? Is it a marked vehicle? I mean, does it say Michigan State Police on it?
Yes, fully.
Understood, and does it have operational sirens as well as lights?
Yes.
And would you have been wearing, let's say, the same thing you're wearing now, your uniform as a trooper? And your uniform, is it typically marked with the fact that you are a trooper with the Michigan State Police? Now, we've seen in the video that the vehicle did come to a stop. It appears to be at a gas station. What did you do once you were both stopped? You being in the patrol vehicle in this car in front of you, what did you do next?
Then made contact with the driver.
Do you see the driver of that vehicle in court today?
Yes, sir.
Can you please just point towards him and describe him that he is wearing?
Yeah, sit at the table, the road, wearing whites.
Thank you, Your Honor. May the record please reflect ID of Mr. Johnson.
So ordered. The record should reflect identification of the defendant.
Thank you. And Trooper, were you able to speak to Mr. Johnson when you approached the vehicle?
Oh,
Did you ask him any questions?
yes.
Did you observe anything specific about him that stood out to you as you were speaking with him? And what were those?
Slurred speech and were last lost.
Right, and as you've stated before, these typical signs of someone who possibly is intoxicated.
Yes.
Thank you. Trooper, I'm gonna let you look behind you. That's kind of bad. There we go. Do you recognize this as being your body cam?
Yes.
Would this have been body cam from the day, related to the incident on December the 20th of 2023?
Yes.
This right hand we see right there. Is that your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And, Your Honor, may I play this for the jury?
Yes,
Thank you.
that's fine. I'm gonna wait till after we finish with this.
How we doing? Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Trooper information stay please. We're gonna stop here to speed, okay? Oh, I wouldn't speed that fast. I wasn't going that fast. I just seen when I just hit there, I was moving over. Excuse me? You said you weren't going. Oh. Want to put down the window? Come back. You got the window down? Ask my partner how fast you was going. How fast was it? 7. Over 7 what? Over 7. Over 7 miles per hour. So 45. Well, what do you? No, you was going over 70, so that's why we stopped, okay? And we don't just stop people, they stop our opinions and stop facts, okay? So that's not really helping you out right now by you saying that you wasn't speeding. That's not normal for you to tell us that you wasn't speeding when you had your engine. And I was going 75 right behind you, facing you as well, okay? See what I'm coming from? Yes, sir. All right. You got your license on you? No, I don't have a license. Okay. Your CPR order by chance? No. Okay, so no weapons should be in the car at all, right? No. Okay, no illegal substances, drugs, anything like that. Not trying to clean your ass and everybody. Okay, nothing like coke. No coke. All right, like I said, I gotta ask these questions. No coke, right? Nothing. No meth. Water. Crack cocaine. Water. All right, that's just questions I gotta ask. You with water in this thing. What's coming from right now? Oh. Huh? Oh. Okay. Any alcoholic beverage consumed today while you're home? Yeah. Okay. I want you to look at me, okay? Tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Can you see it? You're looking at me, okay? Tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Keep your hands still. Oh, tip of my finger. Just your hands there. You understand that? How much alcohol have you had today, sir? I've been doing this job for a while, okay? Your eyes just jumping back and indicating to me that you consume some kind of alcohol today, okay? Negative. No alcohol at all? Negative. Go ahead and step out for me, okay? All right. Be honest, man. How much have you had to drinks now? You definitely lied to me. We're gonna be out here in the cold for a while, okay? Come on, hey, my kudo. You got your kudo? Got my kudo.
Sorry, but for most of that video, Mr. Johnson was laughing. I understand if he thinks this is amusing, but the jury does need to hear what's going on the screen. If he could refrain from laughing during it.
And Mr. Johnson, try to contain yourself. Go ahead.
Thank you. Trooper, we did just watch 2-minute and 19-second clip of your initial interaction with Mr. Johnson. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of your body cam, what was happening on scene that night? On December 20th. Thank you. Your Honor, the people moved to omit people's proposed exhibit number 2, that being this particular body cam footage.
Any objection
What?
to it being admitted?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Submit.
Oh, okay, then it's admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper, in this video, we hear Mr. John state that he does not have a license. Were you able to confirm that at any point during the investigation? Or did I hear that correctly? I guess it's not.
Stated he did not have a license. Later after. Firm, kind of restricted.
For a license in particular?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, when Mr. Johnson had exited out of the vehicle at this point, what were you able to observe about it? And we're actually let's go back a little further. In this video, we see you holding your finger up. So you're asking Mr. Johnson to stare at your finger. Why are you doing that? What is that?
So checking for nystagmus.
For those
What that
people who don't know, what is nystagmus?
So nystagmus, definition of nystagmus, voluntary jerk.
And through your training and experience, is it known that people who may have consumed alcohol have this type of jerkiness in their eyes or have this nystagmus? Okay. And is this something that you observed with Mr. Johnson? Would this have been an indicator to you that he was intoxicated?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that's why you had asked him to exit the vehicle? Okay. Now, moving forward a little bit, as Mr. Johnson had in the vehicle, what are you observing about him in this person that caused suspicion of anything?
Main thing I observed is once again lost in the last line. Awful smell, hot person, lost it, alcohol. Speech was slurred. Jeez. Great evidence.
And how close were you, I know we can see in the video, but just for the record, how close were you standing to Mr. Johnson when you were able to observe all of this?
Approximately.
So fair to say you were pretty close. Okay. Now, given all of this, what did you decide to do?
I decided to administer a standardized skills right.
Okay, in our standardized field sobriety test, so as we agree with the STs, are they part of a typical OWI or operating while intoxicated investigation? And again, have you been trained on how to conduct field sobriety?
Yes.
Did you go to what's called an advanced roadside impaired driving enforcement class?
Yes.
Read this book?
Yes.
And again, have you received numerous trainings in this? How many times, again, would you say that you have conducted field sobriety tests? What people do you feel are you suspect of drug driving?
Over 400.
Understood, thank you. What is the first test that you conducted with Mr. Johnson?
So it was HGN, which stands for horizontal gaze sag.
Now, I know we've already talked about nystagmus. Is this different from what you did in the car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, just in general, what exactly is the horizontal gaze, nystagmus, or the HGN?
Would you like me to break that?
Yes, please.
So what we look for are clues, that's what we call them. Total of clues that is observed horizontal gaze, not sag. So it starts off with call it the lack of smooth pursuit. So you can observe two clues, one at a time. The next is the distinct and sustained sag at maximum deviation. Once again, you observe one clue in each eye, observing both eyes, two more clues. Then the last one, onset of my seconds prior to 45. And once again, observe one clue in each eye, which were two.
And we're going to break down those clues real fast, but how many clues did Mr. Johnson exhibit from what you were able to conclude from that test?
6 out of 6.
Okay. Now, when you say lack of smooth pursuit, what do you mean by it? What are you looking for?
So you're looking for eye as you move your finger from front of his nose, mine is right now. And you're just having that person follow your finger, sentence, called tip of your finger. And what you're looking for is you're moving that finger, you're observing their eyes, sure that it's moving smooth. And a lack of smooth pursuit means that the eye is following.
Understood. Is someone supposed to move their head during this test?
No.
Is someone instructed not to move their head during this test? Understood. Now, you said that could be a clue for both eyes.
Yes.
So that's 1 and 2. The third clue, and again, you're not to repeat it for me because it is these terms that not all of us know.
Yes.
What was that again?
The third one was the onset of nystagmus prior to 45.
And what are we talking about there? What are you looking for there?
So once again, the stimulus is the tip of your finger. Approximately 12 to 15 inches from the nose. First, you start off with first year administration, start off with the left eye. So which means taking from the front of my nose And I gradually go slow towards that left eye first. As I start taking it over towards corner of like where their eyebrow ends at. So you want to get it to 45 degrees. But you see the eye jerk before it gets 45 degrees, stop. Hold the stimulus still. You should be able to observe the eye jerk. So you would hold that for approximately 4 to 6 seconds. Do that each time.
Okay. And does this jerking indicate something to you?
Yes.
What is that? A clue to, would it be impairment? Okay. That last clue was the distinct and sustained, he said. Again, for those of us who don't know, what is that?
So that one, it's pretty similar to what I just explained, but once again, you're holding that stimulus approximately 12 to 15 inches from the nose. It's in my fingers here. Once again, you start off with the left eye. And take the stimulus over. And you're taking it over to the corner of their eye. So their eye should be all the way looking at that stimulus and hold it 4 to 6 seconds. And at 4 to 6 seconds, if they're impaired or impaired, you should be able to see my sadness, eyes, jerking.
Understood. And, your testimony today is after conducting this particular test, you saw all 6 clues that you would look for impairment for Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Now, before conducting this test with Mr. Johnson, did you give him directions of what you were going to do?
Yes.
Did you have to repeat those instructions at all?
I'm sure.
Okay, remember. Would Mr. Johnson have given you the okay that he understood them? And, how long does this test normally take? Is it something that takes a couple of seconds, something that, depending on the person, can take longer?
It depends on the person, but usually the last approximately.
Okay. So
The last approximately.
Okay, and that is if you're really looking for the clues, correct? Okay. Now, I did just preemptively start the video so we can move on, but I'm sorry about the noise. Right behind you, I have another clip here from body cam footage. Do you recognize this as being your body cam footage?
Yes.
And again, this is a body cam footage taken on the date of the incident with Mr. Johnson and his field sobrieties. Yes. Your Honor, may I play for the jury?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm happy to do it, but feet together. Okay, no, yeah, now we get to that. Okay, all right. Keep your hands at your sides, feet together, okay? Mm-hmm. More contacts at all? No. Okay, no more glasses. No glasses. Okay. So all I'm happy to do is now focus, tip of my finger again. Mm-hmm. Tip of my finger only. Can you see it fine? Yes. Okay, I want you to focus on the tip of my finger only. Keep your head still. Follow the tip of my finger with just your eyes, okay? Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to keep this left? Just until I move my fingers. Right? Move my finger on. The one thing ain't glad with it. I ain't a jerk. Until I say we're done. All right. So keep your hands at your sides, all right? Yes, sir. So now we're gonna do
Okay, Trooper, now, again, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the test that you ran with Mr. Johnson, the HGN test?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Your Honor, people would move to admit people's proposed exhibit number 3, that being this particular part of that body cam, that being the HGN.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, any objects?
No.
Admitted.
Thank you. Now, Trooper, we did get to see the video essentially of what you saw. I think you're a little higher up with your eyes because your camera's on your chest, but in this video in particular, did you see Mr. Johnson's eyes jerking?
Yes.
And is that how you were able to establish that those 6 clues were met for impairment?
Yes,
Did you conduct any other tests?
I did.
And what was the next test you conducted?
Standardized field sobriety test next to the, what we call the walk turn.
Now, what is the walk and turn for those of us who don't know?
Like to give instructions.
Sure.
So you have to give direct instructions, not only verbalized instructions, form them. So they can observe the instructions, they can also comprehend the instructions, but tell them out loud.
So, Ms. Secretary, for one moment. So with Mr. Johnson's case in particular, did you demonstrate this walk and turn test to Mr. Johnson?
I did,
Did you also explain to him separately what you wanted him to do?
yes,
And did Mr. Johnson state to you that he understood what you were asking him to do?
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So the instructions I normally give, I would tell someone to put the right foot in front of their left toe, the right heel, touching the tip of their left foot. And I want them to stand with their hands at the sides, being like that, and I don't my instructions. And then I ask them, do they understand? Say yes, then we move on. And then after that, tell them as you are right now, with your right foot in front of your left toe, hands at your sides. I want you to take 9 heel to toe steps on an imaginary straight line. While taking those 9 heel to toe steps, also want you to count your steps out loud. Once you start, don't stop. Then I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3. I do 3 steps. I tell them I did 3, I'm going to do 9, and you get to 9. Take a series of small steps. I'll leave your front foot, whichever foot is in front on the line. Taking those series of small steps, doing so you're going to return once again with 9 to the foot set.
And would these have been the instructions, Trooper, that you did give to Mr. Johnson? Okay. And what are you looking for in particular here through your training and experience? What are you looking for in any signs of impairment or not?
So we're looking for clues. Yes.
How many clues?
So total there are 8 clues.
And just for the sake of getting a little bit ahead, how many clues did Mr. Johnson present to you?
I observed 7 out of 8.
Okay, can you take us to those clues that you're looking for?
Yes, so there's an instructional phase of the walk and turn. You can observe 2 clues. With that, it's called cannot keep balance. Meaning when they go on that instructional phase where they have the right foot in front of the left, they'll tell you hands at the sides. And once again, I ask you to understand. They acknowledge yes, then they move from that position, they take one. So once again, the instructional phase begins with clues that you can observe 2 of them. 2 out of it starts too soon. Meaning somebody begins the test before you allow them to, if they're not supposed to, or cannot be balanced, meaning they're unstable.
And did you witness any of these clues with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, I will misquote. Starts too soon and cannot.
Understood. And can you take us through the rest of those clues?
The rest of the clues I observed, there can be 6 remaining clues out of total. I observed steps offline, stops walking steady, so uses his arms for balance, It's not touch heel to toe. Lastly, it was an improper turn. Only one not observed. They was wrong. Correct.
Now, through your experience of conducting this test, because someone misses, let's say, one of the 7 clues, does it necessarily mean that they are not impaired? Thank you. Now, didn't incredibly do this time, so we didn't have a noise. Looking behind you again. Would this have been your body cam the day or the night of the incident in question with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
You, and this again would have been on December the 20th of 2023?
Yes.
Thank you. Cameraman, play this video for the jury.
Yes.
So now we're gonna do, I want you to put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe, okay? Right foot, hold on. That one, huh? No, you said right foot, yep. Okay, so your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. You see how mine are? Keep your hands at your sides, not in your pockets, okay? I want you to remain like that until I don't my instructions, okay? You okay? No, it's just since I'm a kid, so put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. You're gonna keep your hands at your sides. It's in that little pouch back there. So right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. Keep your hands at your sides. You're gonna remain like that until I'm done, okay? Go ahead and do that now for me. Keep your hands at your sides. Stay like don't move, okay? You understand that? So if you watch me, as you are right now, okay, with your left foot down, your right foot in front, heel to toe. Yep. Keep your hands at your sides, okay? I want you to take 9 heel to toe steps in a straight line, okay? I want you to count your steps out loud, so you gotta be quiet for me to explain it, okay? You're talking, I can't explain it, you can comprehend, okay? Pause for me, all right? Your left foot down, your right foot in front, heel to toe. Keep your hands at your sides. I want you to take 9 heel to toe steps. Imagine a straight line this way, okay? I want you to count your steps out loud, all right? I want you to stop. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Once you get to 9, I want you to leave that front foot planted. And I want you to take a series of small steps. And I want you to return again with 9 heel to toe steps, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, I just didn't see you do it. That's all I'm asking. It's not for me to do. I'm not in an investigation where I play one time. Okay. I just instructed. Okay. Dead to the side. I thought you already standing how I asked you to stand. Okay. So no, that's but you want me to stand like that and you ain't even move there. You can't do that. Oh, but you mean. Okay. Hold on. As instructed, you're supposed to stand. I can do that. But listen. Instructor, you're already not doing what I told you to do. Your right foot should be touching your left heel right now, okay? Or your hand should be at your side. So that's already an indicator to me, okay? Okay, all right. So keep your hands at your side. Do you understand those instructions I just gave you? That's those instructions. Is that one? Is that your right foot touching your left toe? Is it right to the left? Yes, okay. So as instructed, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Yes. Now okay, I'm doing that. Okay. 1. I ain't anywhere yet. 1, 2, 3. Right. As instructed. As instructed. And then do it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 8, 9. All right.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the field sobriety test, the walk and turn that you did with Mr. Johnson on December the 20th? Thank you, Your Honor. The people have moved to admit this exhibit, people's proposed exhibit number 4, that being the walk and turn video with the body cam.
Okay. Any objection?
Nick.
Admit it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Trooper, we did just see essentially really put your words into visual here with this video here, but things that we were able to see, obviously your body cam is a little higher up here, so we can't necessarily see everything, but what we could see, could you just take us through again what you noticed that was in this video that we saw?
First I noticed Mrs. Johnson could follow the instructional phase. So very apparent that 2 clues were readily available when it starts soon. and cannot keep balance. After asking if you wanted me to repeat the instructions at all, did you understand them? He said he did understand the instructions. Continue. Right away, after stepped offline, immediately used his arms for balance. Then he stopped walking and steadied himself. He also doesn't touch heel to toe as instructed. And and then he got to his ninth step on the first round, 9 steps in proper turn.
And again, Trooper, you demonstrated this to him. We couldn't see you in the video, obviously, but you would have demonstrated this to him before he completed it,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. Now, given your training and experience, what does this say to you? What does this mean to you?
Observing 7 out of 8 clues, very apparent to my occupational drugs.
Okay. Now, did you complete any other tests?
Yes.
What other tests did you?
So lastly, standardized field sobriety test, call it one leg.
What is the one leg stand?
So the one leg stand, I'll explain how I normally do it. So first I'm demonstrating instructions. So I tell them to keep your feet together, hands at their sides, and keep feet together, hands at your sides, and to remain like that until I'm done with my instruction. I say, do you understand? If they acknowledge they understand, then we'll begin the next instructions. That's like talking about it. We'll begin the rest of it. Then I'll say, as you are right now, together, hands at your side. I want you to lift the foot of your own choosing, and whichever foot you decide to lift up, 6 inches above the ground. Careful. I don't know if I said in this video, but sometimes I indicate a pop can. If a pop can was on the ground, that's roughly about 6 inches in length, which basically be on top of it. So then once again, keep the other hands at your sides, and then I'll demonstrate it. So I want you to lift your foot up, whichever foot you decide. So I lift my foot up, whichever foot I decide to lift up. I want you to look down at the tip of your toe. I want you to count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. I also say 1 course, 1 period of time, until I say we're done.
Understood. And did you give those directions to Mr. Johnson? And did he say that he understood those directions? How many clues here are you looking for?
Are you looking for 4 total?
Okay, you take us to those clues?
So there's 4 clues that you can observe total. The first one would be foot down. Second would be use arms for balance. Third would be sways. And then the last would be hops. You can hop it around. Okay. On one.
And how many clues did you observe with Mr. Johnson while conducting this test?
4 out of 4.
Feet together again.
Now, once again, we look behind you. Does this appear to be your body cam footage?
Yes.
Would this have been the night of December the 20th, 2023 with Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
You're in my place.
Yes.
Feet together again, hands at your sides, okay? Stay like that until I'm done with my instructions. You understand that? All right. So you said you understand, but your hands aren't at your sides, okay? So put your hands at your sides for me, okay? So remain like that until I'm done with my instructions, okay? If you watch me, put your hands at your sides, sir, not in your pockets, all right? Yeah, my hands cold. I know they're cold. Mine cold too, okay? All right. Feet together, hands at your sides, okay? I want you to lift the foot of your own choosing. Whichever foot you decide to lift up, okay? You're gonna lift it 6 inches above the ground parallel. That means your knee is bent and straight, okay? Like your foot basically should be on top of a pot pan that was on the ground essentially, okay? That's roughly about 6 inches from the ground parallel, okay? So if you watch me, feet together, hands at my sides, lift the foot of my own choosing, 6 inches above the ground parallel, okay? I want you to look down at the tip of your toe, I want you to count 1,000, 2,000, 3 1,000. Just until I tell you to stop. It won't be for a super long period of time, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Okay, how long can I do that for? So I'll be timing it. Won't be for a long time, though, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Yeah, I understand. Okay. As I expect. Okay. Remember, keep your hand. This leg, so I do it in. All right then. Okay. All right. So keep your hands at your sides, and did you understand those instructions? All right. You begin whenever you're ready. Okay. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Not done yet. Almost done. Yes.
Fair and accurate depiction of your body cam observing the one leg stand you completed, Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. People move to admit people's proposed exhibit number, I believe it's 5, that would be the body cam.
Any objection? Admit it.
Thank you. And Trooper, I know you've gone through those clues, but now that we've seen it on the big screen, what in particular stands out here that was assigned to you?
Immediately I observed Mr. Johnson put his foot down several times. While putting his foot down, he also raised his arm. Here we go. It's also an indicator. He also sways, going back and forth. It's kind of hard to remain steady. Also, the very beginning of the relation. It's 4 out of 4. Walk. Not one same, but
Now, Trooper, before you even conduct these field sobrieties, do you ask the certain individuals who are you're going to attempt to conduct these with if they have any sort of impairments?
yes.
What types of things do you ask?
Usually I ask if there are any problems walking, balance, or diabetic. That's just questions.
Okay, did Mr. Johnson indicate to you that he had any sort of impairment with walking at this time? Did he indicate anything to you?
Objection.
What's the objection?
I said as soon as he asked it, I said I got a rod in my rod in my left leg. You grind it.
Okay, but that's his testimony. You can cross-examine him about that. So overrule as far as an objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did Mr. Johnson state that he had anything that you had asked him? You mentioned diabetes. Did Mr. Johnson indicate to you that he was a diabetic?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still run field sobriety tests on individuals who are diabetic?
Yes.
And was there anything besides Mr. Johnson's words to you that he was, that showed that he was a diabetic?
No.
Okay. Now, did you run Trooper any other field sobriety tests at this time? After the one leg stand, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. And given your training and experience, having done over 400, investigations, field sobriety tests, what was your opinion this night after witnessing these field sobriety tests?
That Mr. Johnson was intoxicated over the legal limits to operate motor vehicle.
Understood. And because of that, what did you do next?
I then arrested this man.
Okay. And did you execute a search warrant for Mr. Johnson's blood?
Yes, I did.
And eventually was he transported somewhere for this blood draw?
Yes.
Where would he have been transported to?
I transported Mr. Johnson to a McLaren Open located in downtown.
And did you personally transport him there?
I did.
Before we get into the hospital, after you placed Mr. Johnson under arrest, where was he put essentially? at the scene?
He was taken to, Christian State Police Metro Norfolk. In Mount Ruby. Close to that workout.
Even before that, when you had placed Mr. Johnson under arrest, where was he? He had to be transported to the post, so where was it?
Seated in. Passes with my patrol.
Is that procedure to put them in the patrol vehicle after someone's arrested?
Yes,
And I'm assuming it's procedure to put them in the front as well?
for the same.
Understood. Now, this video behind you, do you recognize this still as being your body cam? And again, you would have been driving the patrol vehicle, at least from the arrest site to the post.
Yes,
Now, during this time, was Mr. Johnson, I guess, making conversation with you and another officer who may have been present?
yes,
Were these statements being freely made by him?
yes.
Yeah, may I play this video?
Yes.
Thank you.
The officer in the back. Permit, what permit? I got a permit now. I just got a permit, so what, drive? Yeah, 'cause I never had one.
Tip like a paper one?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm
You don't have a license, but they gave you a
nigga.
permit?
Yeah, give me a permit. It's in there. I just got it. I'm 39. That's my first time ever having a permit.
That's not good.
I've been driving all my life. I've been driving since. If you look me up, you take time to look at that.
No, I
I got 44 citations. You proud of that? Fucking license.
I guess we live different lives. So
Yes, sir. That's why you the police and I'm not.
that's all right. Come from different walks of life.
Was that a fair and accurate depiction of the conversation that was had with Mr. Johnson in the patrol vehicle?
Yes,
Would this have been after his arrest, essentially on the way to the post?
yes.
Now, the people moved to admit people's proposed exhibit number 6.
Any objection?
No.
Okay, this is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have one final one, just so Mr. Reckles doesn't have to keep going back and forth. Same kind of questions as before, Trooper. Looking behind you, is this still your body cam footage?
Yes, it is.
And at this point, would this have been still Mr. Johnson is in the patrol vehicle with you?
Yes,
And he's making statements to you of his own free will?
yes.
Your Honor, may I play the video?
Yes.
I like this.
Why you?
Can you give me the card where it's going?
Huh?
Give me the card where that's going?
Absolutely.
Right there. You gonna be 8 mile tomorrow? You gonna be 8 mile tomorrow?
I ain't heard nothing. You just
8 mile tomorrow.
am I gonna be on 8 miles?
Yes, I'll be driving by tomorrow at 8 miles.
Okay.
Yes.
Another fair and accurate depiction of a conversation that was had between yourself and Mr. Johnson, the day of the offense.
Yes,
If you're the people moved to admit people's proposed exhibit number 7, that being this particular clip of the body cam.
All right, Mr. Johnson, any objection? Okay, that's admitted as well.
I believe, Judge, at this time I am all done with my videos. So if you wanted to put the other screen back on, I'm not going to go back and forth.
Okay, let's see. And okay, Mr. Johnson, now your turn to cross-examine if you'd like.
Oh, Judge, I wasn't finished. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought-
Put the videos back or the screen back up. I'm
No
sorry.
problem, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Trooper, we're gonna go a little further ahead now. So you had previously stated that you had taken Mr. Johnson to McLaren for a blood draw. Did you personally escort Mr. Johnson into the hospital?
I did.
And what is the procedure that you have when you're taking somebody to the hospital for a blood draw?
Has to be either sensual or, with search warrant signed by magistrate.
And a search warrant was signed in this case? Okay. When you arrived to the hospital again, did you personally escort Mr. Johnson in?
Yes,
And did you indicate to hospital staff essentially why you were there?
yes,
And were you with Mr. Johnson during this entire period of time?
I was.
Okay. Now, did you draw the blood?
I did not.
Okay. Would it have been a hospital staff?
Yes,
Who typically would be the one to draw the blood at the hospital?
usually a nurse or, a phlebotomist.
Okay, and specifically that is made known to them or it's procedure for the hospital as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you recall where Mr. Johnson's blood was taken at? Was it in a room? Was it in the hallway?
Yes.
Which one?
So it was it's a usual spot that McLaren Pontiac. ISO one or prominent?
Oh, that's fine. I'm not gonna make you remember, but is it the separate room essentially?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a certain procedure that you follow when you bring someone in for a blood draw?
Yes.
Do you fill out forms in particular?
Yes.
And what, I guess, significantly is on these forms?
So the main form that you fill out is the blood draw, it comes inside of a box, which is what we use the blood draw.
Is this that box right here, Trooper?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Within that box, be a form that's called an FSC 093. And what that is that's everything that's encompassed in that box has on there. The time of the incident, the person who is arrested or person that's getting their blood that's been drawn is kind of looked at in time. Their driver's license numbers on there, their name, date of birth, my name's on there, my badge number's on there. The hospital where the blood draws is located on there. Nurse or a lot of us who draws the blood, say is under the signature. Time frame of when the blood draws completed. It's not completed at the same time. Both those times, two tubes of blood will be drawn. And both those times we also completed that form that had been.
And Trooper, are you familiar with this box that I have in my hand?
Very.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Trooper, is this the box that you would hand to, or I guess, a type of box that you would hand to the person who is gonna be drawing the blood?
Yeah.
Mine is not sealed, I'm sorry, but would this be sealed? When you
Yes.
hand it over to, yeah, would you confirm that with the person who's taking it that it is sealed? Okay, when I go ahead and hand that to you. If you wouldn't mind for the jury and for myself, could you just go ahead and open that box and you just take us through what essentially you do with that box once you get to the hospital and have to provide what's inside of it to the nurse or who's ever the phlebotomist who's taking the blood?
Okay, so, first thing that I do is these things have expiration dates on them. I just want to make sure things are done correctly. So at the very bottom, it has the expiration date. It states 2025-11/30. So first, I make sure that that box is not expired. Otherwise, I can't use it. And I would have to find another one, call my partner. Bring it. Then I make sure that box is not expired, and I completely also look at the that's hit integrity seal, means the box has not been opened, been closed and everything's been encompassed inside this box. As long as it's, make sure it's sealed. I never open this box up until I have the person that's drawing the blood look at it. But I then ask the nurse if they draw the blood, is it okay if I open this box? They agree. If it's sealed, I then ask, don't forget if you're okay if I open up the box. Actually, use my pocket knife and I open up the box. Open the box. Right away, there's paper on top of that. That paper being what I previously explained is a FSD 09. Right away, I put that paper to the side. Person's identification card or their information, so then I document all the information on the sheet. This is just a form that's here, I throw that away. These two containers here, those are used for urine, which you don't need. So I toss out those two containers and there's a little document here. It's not for you.
Did you go, before you go any further, that document that you just got, is it specifically for those two, I guess, urine vials? Or urine, containers?
No. It just pretty much just states everything that's inside of it, says content.
Understood. How many of these boxes have you opened?
I'd
Roughly.
say well over 150.
Understood. And so are you pretty familiar with what is inside that box?
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Then, right away, like I said, not saying though, there's two vials, glass containers. That's are used to draw blood. But I'm holding with my two fingers here, that's called an iodine prep. So that means, the nurse or phlebotomist what draws blood, they're gonna wipe down the areas where they're gonna draw the blood. Iodine, they don't use alcohol for the sole purpose of the match. Messing up, that's for alcohol. So I'll put those to the side, nearby the nurse or phlebotomist. Right after that. Take this kit integrity seal, which was, there was also one already under the bar open up the box. I put that, like, this is gonna be used when the whole blood draw. Also inside of this box is these will go in urine containers, which also stuff that name, date, the time, the name of the person, the nurse, the name of the person taking the specimen, and the police officer's name. So this is the label that would be urine. So once again, I would discard this as well. Urine. But side of the box, pretty much everything I just explained, but it's used for the blood specimen. Two glass vials here. And
I'm gonna stop you for a quick second, Trooper. So in this case in particular, is it fair to say that the RN who took the blood was Paul Ham?
yes,
Now, would you have handed those vials over to Mr. Ham?
yes,
Now, the vials in particular, that is what would store the blood that was taken from Mr. Johnson? Okay. Now, you just said there was those two labels that you have. You fill out those labels? What goes on those labels again?
so on these labels, at the very top, it says blood specimen. The next says subject name, which in this case will have Ms. Johnson's name up top. Down below it says date. And I would list the date there to the right on that same line. It has time and circle AM and PM. Directly below that, it says name of person taking specimen, which would be the nurse and sponsor, so you drawing the blood. Then below, the last line of the officer's name, agency, which how was my name.
And those particular labels, would you place those onto those two vials?
Yeah.
Would each, of the vials have an identification on it that that was Mr. Johnson's blood?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I interrupted again, so go ahead.
The last thing, you'll see a piece of paper there, it's yellow with red writing on it, that in there. But the main thing that wants to remove primarily is this, like a cotton pad in there. So some way at some point in time, box damage or anything, this would soak up all the content, still box, still good. So I usually just leave both those items aside.
Now, on the date in question, again, would this box have been handed over, or would the vials have been handed over to Mr. Ham?
Yeah.
Did Mr. Ham draw those two vials of blood from Mr. Johnson?
Yes,
Did he do that in front of you?
yes,
Once those vials were, I guess, full of blood, is that when you would have put the seal or the label on them?
yes.
And what do you do with them after you have the 2 vials, they have the blood in them, and there's the label?
If there's different times, I make sure that label goes on the correct vial because it can be a minute apart, so it's close and second. Right after that, I'll take the same exact cardboard here you see with the 2 vials inside. I would take that. And once again, don't want to remove this cotton pad. It's gonna soak up any kind of blood substance that can. I would place this whole cardboard container with the 2 vials on the side of the bag. Doing so, I will make sure it's sealed neatly in there. And then I will make sure all the air is out of the bag. I will make sure it's. Then right after, I'll place this inside the box. Then I will make sure everything is notated on this FSD form correctly. Mainly, I will make sure the nurse put their name on there. Because I was exactly that, and then signature. Right after that, I have instructed at the bottom of this FSD 093 at the very bottom. It says first and second copy, submit with the kid, third copy, anybody. So it means it's first, white, and yellow piece of paper is folded up and sealed inside the container with blood specimen. And that pink paper that you see there, I retain that with my agency to make copy. And it gets put into what we call external documents, located for purposes of court or if anybody wants to see the report. And strictly after that, the nurse is watching me the entire time, make sure things staying obtained or that's what was specimen been placed inside this box. I'll close the box up.
You can leave them, let's see, it's okay.
So I would close the box up. Make sure both sides here. See inside the cardboard. Once again, the nurse is still looking at it. As you can see, this is where the kit container seal was cut to open the box. Here it says the fixed kit box seal here. See those dotted lines there? I will take this kit seal box, I will line it up there, I'll still make sure this box is closed, you can't get it sealed. I would seal it. Then, once again, the nurse is still watching. As I seal it, I'll put my initials up here. Usually I just put KH for Cleo Henson. And then the nurse that drew the blood, I would hand this to them as well. They would sign to fix their signature somewhere around the seal as well.
Now, I'll grab that back for you. What happens to this box after you've got the blood specimens in it and you've affixed the reseal back on?
This box gets transported to post that I work out of, which is Mission Safety Inspection Work Post. It's put in a secure box, primarily with other blood kits transported to the lab.
Their stuff. And just to confirm, would you personally have taken this kit back to the post? And following the procedures that you have with your post or with the Michigan State Police, you would have followed those in order to have that sent to the lab?
Yes.
Do you know particularly what Michigan State Police's policy is for these kits? Are they mailed? Is it interdepartmental mail?
Sometimes it changes.
Understood.
I'm
Okay.
not sure on that one.
That's okay, no problem. After you had at the hospital with Mr. Johnson, the vials of blood were taken, what happened next? Where was Mr. Johnson taken?
He was taken to the open county jail.
Understood. Your Honor, I don't believe I have any further questions for Trooper Henson.
Okay, now, she's turning the witness over to you, sir. Would you like to ask some questions?
One second, can we use the restroom?
Yeah, we can take a break, but jurors like to take a quick break. We can do that.
Thank you.
We'll take about a 5-minute break.
All right, for
You want to step down, you can. Everyone may be seated. The record should reflect that each of our 7 jurors are seated in their respective seats here in the courtroom. We stopped at cross-examination for Mr. Johnson. So go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Malcolm. How are you doing today?
Find yourself
You say you were on the force for how long?
approximately 7 years.
You like the job?
It's my career. I love it.
Would you say you do everything by the book?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
Can I take you back to December 2023?
Okay.
You stated you seen a vehicle speeding in Southfield, correct?
Yes.
Like streets
8 months.
and, no, they mile.
Are you asking him for cross streets?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
8 miles south.
Oh, that's cars pulled up, correct?
Yes.
I'm talking about when you seen a car speeding.
I just remember it was like 8 miles. So.
Did you write a speeding ticket?
No, sir.
Was the car traveling east or west?
East.
Like going toward Bulwark, going toward Southfield, correct?
Yes.
How was the speed calculated again?
By pacing and with my calibrated in-car front facing radar.
Is pacing how you control the clock speed?
Yes, it's one of many ways.
When was the last time your radar was calibrated?
It's calibrated the date it's manufactured,
So it never gets calibrated after that.
only the brakes.
How do you know if it's broken?
Because I tested at the beginning and end of my shift every day.
Would it be alright if I put the speaking video number 1 back on?
Sure. Let's continue to discuss with that.
Okay,
Oh, it's this one.
right.
That one, right laptop.
Gotta change the input. Oh, yeah. It's to 2.
Oh, it's 2?
Mhm.
Okay, let me go back. Okay, did you want to start it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, one second. So were you moving then? Your vehicle, was you sitting or was you moving?
I was driving.
Okay. Sorry. Stop right here. So would you say this speed right here is when you started pacing it?
No, sir.
Well, when were you pacing?
As the video continued.
Okay. Can you please stop us, let us know when you start pacing?
Sure can. Right here.
All right, may continue. And at this point, you say I was going 65?
You going 60.
It sure doesn't look like it.
Your Honor, objection, is that a question or is that a statement?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't comment. You have to ask a question.
You also said that I was using improper lanes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you write a ticket for that?
No.
Can you tell me what a venue is?
What a what is?
Venue.
Venue?
Location.
Right. In your statement, you said the venue was 8 Miles Southfield Road. Is that a venue?
The location. Yes.
But the location would be the gas station, correct?
No, the location would be venue.
Which where we're at right now, what is that?
That's what my lights were at.
Is that 8 Miles Southfield Road? The venue would be the gas station, correct?
Yeah, at or nearby. That's my port. Port 15.
Do you know the name of the gas station?
The Mobile or America?
So you don't know the address? That was,
No, sir.
that's what I'm saying, like, venue has an address. Or really like 2 streets. Oh, do you go to, video 2? In this video, you said as soon as you made contact with me, it was first slurred speech, correct?
Yes, sir.
I would like to hear.
Before we continue judging, if Mr. Johnson could just state that he's referring to People's Exhibit 2, just in case there's any issues later on, the record reflects what particular video we're
Yeah,
watching.
video 2.
Just
Okay.
what it said each time.
I thought I heard him say it, but go ahead. It's video exhibit number 2.
How far is that video going, Mr. Johnson?
I would like to play it out for here. Explain.
How we doing? Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. True transmission stay, please. Reason I'm stopping the speed. I wouldn't speed that fast. I wasn't going that fast. I just seen when I just hit the angle, I was moving over. Excuse me? You said you went down fast? Oh. I put down the window, come up, and you got to window down. That's my partner, how fast you was going. How fast was it? 7. Hey, 7 what? Over 7. Over 7. So 45. Well, what do you? No, you was going over 70, sir. That's what I'm expecting, okay. Hey, we don't stop people. They stop right pain and stop facts, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's not really helping you out. You saying that you wasn't speaking.
Didn't hop right in speeding ticket, correct? So what did you pull me over? Why did you stop? So you said you don't just pull people over. Trying to figure out if the reason why you pulled me over was I was speeding, why didn't you write the ticket? Yes.
Okay. So, you were arrested for operating while intoxicated.
But 1 second. Before that, all right, you pulled me over, you stopped. Why didn't you write a speeding ticket first? You pulled me over for speeding, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what, before you get that part, it's supposed to be the speeding ticket. Why you didn't write me a speeding ticket?
Okay. So I'll explain it this way. So my name's Cleo Henson. I was raised treating everybody the way I wanted to be treated. That's encompassed to who I became as Michigan State Trooper. Okay, so before I was Trooper Henson, I was Cleo. So
1 second.
I treat everyone the way I
I
want.
didn't want him to answer the question.
So therefore,
Mr. Johnson, just allow Trooper Henson to please.
It doesn't sound responsive to his question.
She's not answering the question.
Why the ticket wasn't written.
Well, it sounds like he's explaining his background. but- Stop, Mr. Johnson. So Trooper, hold on. I know you kind of get to the fact that maybe you're giving them some courtesy or something. I don't know, but can you get to that? Thank you. Go ahead.
you're already dealing with a lot, sir. So why would I tack on even more things for you to deal with?
Because reason why is because when you're doing court filings.
Yeah, okay, wait just a minute.
Okay, so
You don't answer the questions, you ask the questions. He's giving you like a rhetorical question.
yes.
Like
That's not
he's,
the reason why you take most of that's why I say.
what, excuse me. He just told you that was the reason why. So you can't tell him that's not the reason why. You have to accept that answer, but you can still probe into what does the book say you're supposed to do? You can do that. Go ahead.
Book says you're supposed to write me a ticket. That's when the violation I did first. Right?
So what?
The reason why you pulled me over. So you pulled me over with anything. Can you please start?
Let's just clarify this.
Yeah.
Trooper, do you have discretion?
Absolutely.
And tell us how you decide to exercise that.
I exercise my discretion based off giving a civil infraction or a verbal warning. But my department has told us as troopers to issue tickets or verbal warnings based off if it's going to change the driver's behavior.
Okay. So he wants to know in this instance, you stopped him for speeding. He wants to know why didn't he get the speeding ticket?
Because he was arrested for operating while intoxicated.
So are you saying that you started a different investigation once you made contact with him?
Yes.
And so you opted to pursue that, is that what you're saying? And leave the ticket part to the side?
It's all encompasses the one that's speeding could be equivalent to someone being investigated or traffic stopping for suspicion of operating while intoxicated.
Right, but you decided not to just issue the ticket.
So that's
Go ahead.
From where we left off, Mr.
Oh,
Johnson?
one second. Did you hear me slurring there?
yes, sir.
You hear me slurring now?
Would you like to start, Mr. Johnson, from where we left off?
That's not normal for you to tell us that you wasn't speeding when you obviously was wrecked for injury. And I was going 75 right behind you facing as well, okay? See what I'm coming from? Yes, sir. All right, you got your license on you? No, I don't have a license. Okay, your CPR order by chance? Okay, so no weapons should be in the car at all, right? No. Okay, no illegal substances, drugs, anything like that? Not trying to offend you, I asked everybody, okay? Nothing like coke? No coke? All right, like I said, I gotta ask these questions. No coke, right? Nothing. No meth? Water. Crack cocaine. Water. All right, this is questions I gotta ask. All right. There's no water in this thing. All right, where you coming from right now? Oh. Huh? Oh. Okay. Any alcoholic beverage consumed stay while you're home? Okay. I just want you to look at me, okay? Focus on the tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Can you see it? You're looking at me, okay? You look at the tip of my finger. Tip of my finger only. Keep your head still. Oh, the tip of my finger will just dry.
Put the light in somebody's face. Does you think that makes it harder for them to walk?
Your Honor, objection, that is speculation.
Let's ask a question.
You can give an opinion.
That's it. So you don't think a light in your eye, throw your walk, no, or before you walk? You don't think it'll be a blurry vision after that?
Depends on the situation. Sir.
A light in your eye.
Well, are you talking about at the time you're trying to walk or,
All right.
or way before?
All right. Like when he does his testing, right? Like before he even get off the vehicle, he's got his light in my.
Okay.
Then I get off the vehicle, come over here, stand by the vehicle, light in my face. Then let's turn around and walk.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
He gave you his opinion.
Yeah, just ask.
You said no.
Did I get explain that? Okay. All right, how much alcohol have you had today, sir? I've been doing this job for a while, okay? Your eyes are just jumping back and forth, okay? That's the indicator to me that you consumed some kind of alcohol today, okay? Negative. All right. No alcohol at all? Negative. All right, go ahead and step out for me, okay? All right. Yeah.
If somebody has a physical, should say physical,
Handicap?
body,
Like a handicap
yeah,
or something?
it doesn't have to be handicapped, just because you have a physical, like getting shot in the leg or something like that. I'm not considered handicapped, but that can stop me from being able to
Physical
walk.
injury? What's the word you're looking for? Okay, go ahead.
A physical injury. Would that stop me from being able to walk straight? Think I would do that? Possibly. In video 5, tip 5, I stated that to you. that I had,
Is that a question? You have to ask it in question
Oh, yeah.
form. Not I stated that. Didn't I tell you?
oh,
Is a
didn't I
question.
tell you that I had laser to my leg? Quick take video file for him.
You say you shot?
That would be able to, I mean, be able to walk down a straight line, being able to straight line, be able to walk heel toe. Did that prevent me from doing that?
I never been shot.
He played, he was, what's the video file? That's it.
Take the other hand, hands at your sides, okay? Stay like that until I'm done my instructions. You understand that? All right. So you said you understand, but your hands aren't at your sides, okay? So put your hands at your sides for me, okay? So remain like that until I'm done my instructions, okay? If you watch me, put your hands at your sides so not your pockets, all right? Yeah, my hands cold. I know they're cold. Mine cold too, okay? All right. Stick together, hands at your sides, okay? I want you to lift the foot you're choosing. Whichever foot you decide to lift up, okay? You're gonna lift it 6 inches above the parallel. Your hands and bent and straight, okay? Like the foot basically should be on top of the pot pants that was in the ground essentially, okay? That's what I'm 6 inches from the ground parallel, okay? So if you watch me, feet together, hands at my sides, lift the foot of my own choosing, 6 inches above the ground parallel, okay? I want you to look down at the tip of your toe, I want you to count 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Just until I tell you to stop. It won't be for a super long period of time, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Okay, I love that. So I'll be timing it. Won't be for a long time though, okay? Did you understand those instructions? Yeah, I understand. Okay. Okay. Remember, can't shut this leg, so do what they do. All right, then. Okay. All right, so keep your hands at your sides, and did you understand those instructions? All right. Whenever you're ready, okay?
My leg still wanted me to do it. I told you that my physical injury still told me to the side, right?
Yeah.
This time, Your Honor, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper, I just want to clarify the location, just so we can make sure everyone's on the same page with location. So from my understanding, you indicated that you were on eastbound 8 Mile. Is that fair to say? Now, is eastbound 8 Mile in the city of Southfield or would it be in the city of Detroit?
So it's in Wayne County. City.
Okay. Now, is it within a mile of Oakland County, that being Southfield?
Yes.
Okay. And again, I just want to confirm what you said earlier. There's just a median dividing it.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that the two roads, eastbound versus westbound 8 Mile, are within a mile of each other?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Trooper, what is your definition of pacing? What do you mean when you say you're pacing somebody?
So when I'm pacing my vehicle, I look at my speedometer on my vehicle. So I'm looking at my speed, which is right in front of me. I'm making sure my speed is maintaining the same speed. Also, I'm looking at vehicle that's in front of me, I'm making sure it's a reasonable amount of distance for me to tell whether or not that vehicle is moving further away from me or if it's remaining the same exact distance as I'm traveling miles per hour. Right in front of me, I'm also that.
How many cars would you say in your 7-year career have you paced?
Over 1,000.
And is this procedure or a common way of trying to, of determining essentially someone else's speed
Yes.
on the road? Okay. Is it fair to say, in watching that particular video, that that car, so this orange, I believe, either Camaro or I didn't see the make and model of it, but was it passing other road or motorists on the road?
Yes.
Okay. And is it fair to say that you had to speed up to essentially get to the point of pacing this vehicle?
Yes.
And when you pace this vehicle, is it fair to say that's how you were able to determine they were speeding? Okay. Now, I do want to go into a couple of questions regarding any ailments or injuries. You did see here that Mr. Johnson indicated to you that he was shot in the leg. Did he indicate which leg it was?
Say left,
Okay, and did he also indicate that he would use the other leg to do the one leg stand?
say it is right.
And did he use his right leg to do the one leg stand? Understood. Regarding this flashlight that you had shined in the car on him, at any point did Mr. Johnson indicate to you that he couldn't see as a result of that flashlight?
Not to my knowledge.
Did he indicate to you that the flashlight would impair him in some way?
Not to my knowledge.
Understood. Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. We have a question from a juror, which I don't know if this is cleared up or not, but I'll ask it to you, Trooper. Is there a parallel video showing speed metered?
So what I can elaborate on is the video that you see here. This is my body cam. The one that you seen earlier with the supervisor that's gonna be the dash cam. The dash cam footage that's sent out to prosecutors' offices or fences or anyone that doesn't have speed on it. But the ones that I can pull up, it does have like the speed of my patrol car. So it will have the speed I'm currently traveling at. It'll also show the speed that I increase in. Have the GPS. Obviously, predominantly within but as far as seeing my in-car radar, that's nothing that my body can be able to capture. That's nothing that camera inside my vehicle would be able to capture. It's only to my eye and whoever's inside the vehicle. Right with my dash, body cam sits lower below the steering wheel, so you won't be able to see the actual speed that's coming from the calibrated car radio.
Okay. So hopefully that answered that question. Does anybody have a follow-up question based on that?
The
No.
people have no follow-up, Your Honor.
In this video number 5, where she took it off, you couldn't even see my feet, so nobody was able to see whether my feet was
Okay, what's the question? You have to ask it in a question form. You're telling him what he could see. You need to ask him whatever you're trying to see.
able to see my feet.
It's in the center of my chest.
Right. And another thing, do you remember when you told me I was wherever you said I was at?
Sir, you're supposed to limit your question to the question that was asked. Any other questions, you had an opportunity to ask. So, thank you. Okay. All right. So Trooper, I believe we're all set with you. You can step down.
And Your Honor, may Trooper Henson be excused from the rest of today?
Actually, no.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I already forgot. Okay.
What do we have? Charles, where are you?
Yes.
There's a juror with something in writing. Okay, at some point, let me say this. You are all, I can't ask every question about what you don't remember. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is use your collective memory when you get to the back. If you don't remember a fact, somebody else got it, betcha. So to that extent, I'm going to ask you to try to use your collective memory on this question rather than ask, because I don't want to get into a situation that if you forgot something or didn't get it, that everybody asked that question. This is not an inappropriate question. I just want you to try to use your collective recall to recall facts rather than keep asking the witness the same questions again. Okay, so I won't ask that one. But what we're going to do is take the jury out of our presence, Charles, and we'll be right back with you in just a moment.
All rise for the jury.
Okay, so the record should reflect that the jurors are all outside of our presence. Everyone may be seated. This is the time that we're going to finish up with the civil infraction testimony on the refusal of the PBT. So Trooper, you're still under oath, obviously.
Would you like me to start from the very beginning or just specifically get the testimony about the PBT? Want me to ask him his name, how he's employed?
I don't need all that. I heard it already.
Okay. For one thing we omitted from today's hearings with the jury, because we're not allowed to bring it up, is the PBT or the preliminary breath test. Is that something that you had requested that Mr. Johnson take?
Yes,
And did Mr. Johnson agree to take that PBT test?
he refused.
He refused. And was this caught on your body cam?
Yes.
Judge, if I can play a brief video.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Jessica. Ms. Liddell.
Okay, let me go back to input number 2.
So any alcohol say, right? Negative. Okay. So this is the preliminary blood test, okay? So my partner has over here, okay? No, I don't agree. I don't agree. Okay, when a peace officer requests you to take one, I don't have to take one. Okay, you must do it, otherwise it's civil.
Or is that a fair and accurate depiction of your body cam regarding the PBT that you had requested that Mr. Johnson complete?
Yes.
And at any point after this video had stopped, did he agree to take PBT test?
He refused to take.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have any further questions?
What exhibit was it?
Oh, this would be, I guess, for purposes of the formal hearing, exhibit number 1. If we want to add it to the trial, I believe we're on 8.
Okay, so exhibit number 1 is PBT.
So in that case, other people would move to admit
Video.
people's proposed exhibit number 1. That being
Any
PBT.
objection?
Okay.
Okay, that's admitted. Okay, are you done with the witness?
I
now?
am, Your Honor. Thank you.
Would you like to ask questions?
No.
Okay. All right, well, Ms. Mitch, no questions, argument?
Your Honor, the people, I mean, the video is clear. The people would request that this honorable court find Mr. Johnson responsible for the civil infraction of refusal of a PBT. The video makes clear that he did refuse the PBT that was offered to him by Trooper Hinson. Again, that would be my argument, and again, ask that you find him responsible. Thank you.
Did you want to make an argument?
Well, the reason why I did say no is because.
Well,
I felt that I was-
did you want to testify then? Because you didn't
No, no, no.
testify.
I don't testify. You just asked me that I want to say something about it.
No, did you want to make an argument about why you should not be found responsible for refusal of the PBT?
Yeah, thinking that I was out of jurisdiction of Southfield, and he said I was in the city of Southfield, take the test. I was like, oh, I ain't in Southfield, so I feel like I didn't take the test.
I don't know there's any exception in the law that says that the person who's been requested to take the PBT has the right to decide where they think they are on the road and refuse it.
Exactly.
If an
That's why I
officer,
said-
I think the way it goes is if an officer of the law requests you to do it, it's an implied consent.
That's not always true.
Was not always true, so. Oh, okay.
It's like they asked for something.
Okay. All right, well. Okay, so let's see here. This citation is under Michigan Compile Law 57.625A 2D, which says that a peace officer who has reasonable cause to believe that a person was operating a vehicle upon a public highway or other place open to the public or generally accessible to motor vehicles, including an area designated for parking of vehicles within this state, and that the person, by the consumption of alcoholic liquor, controlled substance, or other intoxicating substance, or a combination of them, may have been affecting his or her ability to operate a vehicle, or reasonable cause to believe that a person was operating a commercial motor vehicle within the state while the person's blood, breath, or urine contained by any measurable amount of alcohol, controlled substance, or any other intoxicating substance, or while the person had any detectable presence of alcoholic liquor, controlled substance, or any other intoxicating substance, or any combination of them, or reasonable cause to believe that a person who is less than 21 years of age was operating a vehicle upon a public highway or other place open to the public and generally accessible to motor vehicles, including an area designated for parking vehicles within this state, while the person had any bodily alcohol content, as that term is defined under 625(6), may require the person to submit to a preliminary chemical breath analysis. The following provisions apply to a preliminary chemical breath analysis administered under this section. And D says, except as provided in subsection 5, a person who refuses to submit to a preliminary chemical breath analysis upon a lawful request by a peace officer is responsible for a civil infraction. And of course, subsection 5 does not apply because that deals with commercial operation of a vehicle and it makes a refusal a misdemeanor. Up to 93 days and $100 fine. There's nothing in this section, Mr. Johnson, that gives you any authority to deny the refuse to breath test just because you think you're in a certain city versus another. This is a state police officer. He has jurisdiction over the whole state. He could ask you in any city he wanted to. If he thought that you might be impaired based upon the things that he's testified to today, he could ask you to take the test. You refuse. And in Michigan, you refuse, you got a civil infraction because when you get your license, you've implied to consent to take the test. Okay. All right. So for those reasons, the court's going to find you responsible for the civil infraction. And looks like we entered a default back on November 12th. You never set it aside, but I'll do that. Note that the default entered on 11/12 of 24 is set aside and that the defendant is found responsible after hearing. So that'll take care of if there was any penalties. And we'll assess whatever the standard fine is for this, which is what? $205, sir. You have that today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll let you pay it by tomorrow because unless we break now, you're not going to be able to pay it.
Okay.
I'd rather we just get back to this. Unless you want your lady friend back there to run it downstairs for you, she can do that. $205, and we'll give you till the 12th. Okay. How's that happen? Okay, so we can bring the jurors back in. Oh, and just so it's clear, the juror did ask a question regarding the 8th clue. What was it for the turn test? They can, I'm sure, come to that conclusion amongst themselves. And so I think we're now going to be done with the trooper, and we'll just release them when they come in so they know. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right, sure.
All right, so the record should reflect that each of our 7 juries is now present. You may be seated in their respective seats. And so at this point, I believe we're all done with testimony from the trooper. So you may step down and be excused. Anyone have any objections? No? People have another witness.
Your Honor, we'll call Paul Young.
Okay.